Okay, so today we have Alex Chilton by The Replacements. So, I feel like this video was a long time coming. The Replacements are one of my favorite bands I've ever reacted to. Unsatisfied is my second favorite song I've ever reacted to after Complicated Game by XCC. But anyway, of course, Alex Chilton, we all know, was a big influence on Paul Westerberg and the Boys. And finally, I'm going to react to their homage to the man himself. So let's get into it, talk about it after. There's no video here. It's just the album cover. So here we go. Thunderous. All right, Alex Chilton by The Replacements. So, like I said off the top, The Replacements, heavily influenced by Big Star, heavily influenced by the Box Tops, bands that Alex Chilton was in, and I love how endearing the song is, from the quotes I've read from Paul Westerberg. I just love how much he loves Alex Chilton and how he wrote a song about the man, and how, like, it feels like if I was a musician, or if, I don't know, if you're somebody who's famous or whatever, and just wanting to bring attention to somebody that you've loved forever, somebody that was always an influence on you, because Alex Chilton, of course, I'm just going to get right into this off the top, I guess, but Alex Chilton, we know some Big Star songs. I've reacted to Big Star. I love Big Star. September Girls, 13, of course. The Box Tops, everyone knows the song The Letter, I think, anyway. But, and it's crazy that Alex was only 16, I think, when he did that. But anyway, and how his voice was so friggin' deep at that point already. But, yeah, and just, I forget where I was going now. But, of course, how Alex Chilton was, those bands, I guess, he wasn't a big star. You know, he wasn't as known as, I guess, Paul wishes he was, or maybe even as Alex wishes he was. So, it's just nice to hear, I guess, Paul and the band as well. I keep keep saying Paul, but everybody in the band, bringing attention to somebody who was such an inspiration to them. And I just got to say this too, because I feel like it just shows how even more cool and how even more thoughtful Paul is. He said when he wrote the song, he didn't want the song to be like about where people only knew Alex Chilton because of that song. He wanted people to know Alex Chilton and to find him and to, you know, find out about his legacy and his bands through the song, because he feels like some people only knew Alex Chilton by name because of this song. So anyway, it's just so, again, thoughtful that he thought about that and thinking like, I hope, you know, I didn't hurt him or anything, and because I was reading some quotes that he wrote, that he said about that. But anyway, just showing again how cool these guys were and how ahead of their time they were from this song and other songs I've listened to about their feelings, or another song like Androgynous or whatever. I don't know, I just put that in the same field as this, and just talking about how much you love somebody. I mean, tell them how much you love them, whether it's, you know, family or a musician, I guess. And apparently he didn't meet his hero. The band didn't meet Alex Chilton. And of course, Alex Chilton played on Bastards of Young, I do believe. And yeah, so obviously they fulfilled their dreams as well. But to talk about the song here, it's pretty, like, for the Replacements, it's kind of laid back, I gotta say. I mean, I know it's a thunderous, energetic track nonetheless, but for them, you know, it's not as punchy, I guess, as it could be, which I like. You know, it fits. You know, it's respectful. When you're talking about Alex here and you're talking about somebody you really like, I don't know, I just like how they kind of held back a little bit. There's still those crunchy guitars, and there's still a tasteful, intricate, I would say, guitar solo in there too. And, you know, to take your mind off of things for a second, and it was just very, you could vibe out easily to it, however I want to put it. But it was a nice break anyway, and just showing what his prowess on the guitar there. I'm going to get to the personnel soon. I've talked about these guys so much you'd think I remember their names. I know of Paul, but anyway. But yeah, like I said, very energetic. The guitar work added to that, of course. The bass work here too. I talk about intricate guitar work, but the bass was pretty thudding at different points too. Very notable, as I always like to say. But I liked how you could hear him on the fret at different points too, and how he's just you could just hear what he was doing with his hands. I mean, I just really enjoyed that part as well. And now you could almost hear every sound. I mean, I guess that's the whole kind of laid back feeling that I get. And that kind of gives it even more of a boost to hear everything that's going on here. It's kind of more intimate. It's very intimate for a reason as well. You know, they're talking about somebody they freaking love. And as well, I liked at the end how the guitar work got light. It almost sounded like, I don't know if I want to say a Latin flair or something. I mean, my God, it's just, but either way, it was very light at the end there. And I feel like, again, it worked because this is an endearing song. This is a tribute. And I feel like maybe a tribute, you can have bombastic tributes. And I'm not saying this wasn't bombastic. I mean, you hear the drums here. Those were energetic. That's the word of the day, I guess. But those were bombastic at points too. Love the quick fills. I mean, there's so much urgency, especially, again, to the drumming and the whole song. But like I said, I keep going back to it. There could be more, I guess, but they held back, I feel like, because, again, this is a tribute to a guy they loved. And to talk about Paul's voice, like I said, Unsatisfied, it's one of my favorite songs I've ever listened to, I've ever reacted to, whatever. There's just something about Paul that just is so impactful to me, and the way that he sings and how he has such a ragged, gruff voice. And ragged can go along with the band, too. But with his voice in particular, it's just, I mean, he was born in 59, I do believe. So he's like in his mid-20s at this point, but he sounds like he's in his 40s or something. He sounds like he's gone through such a life, and his voice, again, is just so weathered, and I just love it so much. And I always fawn over his voice, but he has so much prowess, he has so much power, he has so much fire in his voice, and it's what a voice over top of that music. I mean, it was a friggin' match made in heaven. So anyway, I love this band. Can you tell? I love this band, and I don't feel like any song I'm gonna listen to, I feel like I'm gonna love by them. I mean, even if it's their worst song, whatever that may be. I know this is not it, but this has been ranked as one of their best. And again, I can see why, because it's nice, it's relatable, it's accessible. And it's a nice little love letter. I mean, you talk about the letter by the box tops. This is the Replacements' letter to Alex Chilton. And like I said, it's just something that I feel like all of us would do if we ever got famous or whatever the hell. And wanted to show how much you love somebody and who helped somebody who helped you get there. Whether you knew them or not, but at least their music helped you get there. So anyway, let me go to the personnel here. This is for the whole album of Pleased to Meet Me, which it's just a fun title. Pleased to Meet Me, play Pleased to meet you, of course. But anyway, Paul Westerberg, would you believe it? Like I always like to say, he's on lead vocals here, and also on electric and acoustic guitars, and that's all I see here for this track. Tommy Stinson on bass guitar. Tommy Stinson has so many great bass lines, and on this one, I don't feel like he was as prominent as he could have been, or whatever the hell. But maybe if I listen to it again, maybe he would be. But I don't know. But either way, Tommy Stinson was doing his own thing here. Like I said, very intricate at different points, and very notable at different points as well. But Tommy is always a great guy to listen to as well. I mean, everyone in this band. My God, Chris Mars is also on drums, and I like how there's a reference to Mars, and I know it doesn't have anything to do with Chris, but I just love how Chris's last name is Mars, and they mentioned Mars in the song. But anyway, he's on drums here, and like I said, he was on the cowbell as well. So fun. I love to hear a cowbell. Love the hand claps as well. It's just, I don't know, just everything they put into this. Obviously, it's a very, I got so long to get to this point, but it's obviously a very big nod to Big Star. I mean, to power pop. I mean, Alex Chilton has been called the godfather of power pop, and the song is basically throwing in everything that Alex Chilton would have done on a Big Star song or a box top song, whatever. So obviously it's perfect that there's a power pop feel to this. And yeah, so I finally got that out there. I wanted to mention that earlier, and I don't even know if anyone's still watching, but there you go. So let's move into the lyrics now. Like I said, it's a big tribute to the man himself, and I don't feel like these lyrics is too complex. I mean, there's some references that you might not get, but I did read some quotes, and I think I know a bit about what's going on here. So let's get into it. If he was from Venus, would he feed us with a spoon? If he was from Mars, like I said, Chris Mars, then that'd be cool. And it's just, I don't know, there's just such a throwaway kind of line there at the end, then that'd be cool. But it's just the way Paul sings it is great. And right off the bat, I mean, holding Alex Chilton up to some high standards here, but that's what they do because they love the man. Standing right on campus, would he stamp us in a file? Hanging down to Memphis all the while. And again, I know Alex is from Memphis, or was from Memphis. Of course, he passed away in 2010. So I just think about Memphis there. And I do know the band, I believe, recorded this album in Memphis, and they recorded it where Big Star recorded one of their albums. So again, the influence here just has no bounds. You know, it's this band loved Big Star. Then we go into the chorus, and children by the millions sing for Alex Chilton when he comes around. They sing, I'm in love with, what's that song? Yeah, I'm in love, what's that song? And I gotta say, I don't know if this is tongue-in-cheek, because of course, some of us, I'm sure millions of people know some Alex Chilton songs, but again, the whole point here is that he was very underrated, and that Big Star was very underrated. So I don't know if he's, you know, having some tongue-in-cheek here that really children never really sang, by the millions anyway, an Alex Chilton song, but I'm sure millions have. Anyway, just I'm indifferent on that one. But at the same point, I do feel like there's a bit of humor there, and again, more point to the song that Alex is very underrated, and why Paul and the band here wants to give him some more, show people why he's great and why they love him. So anyway, and that children should be singing his songs by the million. And the whole point of, from what I've seen anyway, is that when Paul met Alex, he was stammering over his words because, I mean, he's a big influence on him. And he kind of said something like, I'm in love with that song. Yeah, I'm in love with that song. He forgot the song he was in love with, or something like that. And how, I guess that quote there in the chorus is kind of a reference to that. That's what I've seen anyway. Then we have the second verse here. Cerebral rape and pillage in a village of his choice. I mean, right away, that's quite the opener to the second verse. Invisible man who can sing in a visible voice. And that's another one of a point to show that he was underrated, and how he was an invisible man, maybe on the radio that that Paul heard at first, but he was a very visible voice, and he was a voice that really caught on and really inspired the guys here. And even though they didn't know who he was, or maybe even though a lot of people didn't know who he was, he obviously inspired bands like The Replacements, The Cramps, REM. I mean, those bands come to mind. Feeling like $100, exchanging good lucks face to face. Checking his stash by the trash at St. Mark's Place. And from what I've read, St. Mark's Place is a place in, I want to say New York or Manhattan, whatever. And it was a place that Alex would visit a few times. And I do believe it was a place that Alex and Paul and I guess the band met. Anyway, and the whole checking, I don't know if that was an accident or where he was only supposed to say checking, but it almost sounded like when he sang it, like he said checking, like he did it by accident. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what it came across as. And it's just, again, that was kind of a fun little part, but either way, maybe it was intentional. Then we have the chorus again. They're in love with Alex Chilton, and they should be even more in love with him. I never travel far without a little Big Star. I mean, some of these lyrics, again, are very accessible, and they're very easy to get. Paul loves Big Star, and he probably listened to them in his car or whatever on the way to gigs and everything. And then we had the great guitar solo in there, which took a break from the lyrics and whatever, and let the guitar sing itself. And then we have the last verse here, the third one: run around the house, Mickey Mouse and tarot cards. A lot of references here that maybe I don't get in that part, but I like the word choices. Falling asleep with a flop pop video on, and I've seen people say that's not the actual lyric here. I've seen people say it's fop pop or what, but either way, I would imagine, you know, falling asleep with a box tops or a Big Star video on, I guess, again from Paul's perspective. And if he was from Venus, we meet us on the moon again, just the way. And I guess Alex wasn't into astrology from what I've seen anyway, and maybe that's why they bring in Venus and all this stuff, and the moon just as another reference to the man. If he died in Memphis, that'd be cool, babe. It's just like, my goodness gracious. And of course, he would die way too early in 2010, like I talked about earlier. And I do believe he did die in Memphis. And I feel like, of course, Elvis Presley died in Memphis. And is he you know, maybe is that another reference to the king you know, of rock, Elvis, and just showing again how what pedestal the band is putting Alex on here, comparing him almost to Elvis. Anyway, maybe that's a stretch, but there you go. Then you have the chorus and the outro, oh come on, and just again a throwaway line you might say at the end there, oh come on. But the way the band sings it with such power and energy, it's just I don't know. There's something about it that is not filler. It's great. And this is a great song to listen to anyway. And anytime I come back to the Replacements, it's always a treat. And I always enjoy it. And it's just, I don't know, I'm never... like I said, this band left an impact on me, left an imprint on me, and I'll never forget them. My goodness gracious. And not that they're dead or anything. I don't know. I just really enjoy this band. And every time I come back to them, I can't get enough. So there you go there. I can't hardly wait to get back to another Replacement song. So... there you go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting. This song was only 3 minutes long, and this video is way too long, but I guess I got into those lyrics and wanted to be as right as possible or whatever, but and show my appreciation to both the band and Alex himself. So there you go there, but I can talk. So, and I continue to talk here right now. So thanks for everything. Like and subscribe and commenting. I don't know if I already said that. All the support, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.